G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. And hey, it turns out May 13 is World Cocktail Day. So me being the wild, crazy, impulsive type I am, I thought I'd make a cocktail. And apparently this day was declared because the earliest written definition of a cocktail was published on May 13 in the deep distant past. I should have looked up the exact year, but it was a question in a newspaper column saying, what is this thing people call a cock-tail? And the editor responds and says, it's a drink, and he has his own way of doing it. I'll get it. It's a stimulating liquor. It's composed of spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters. And that was a cocktail. What we call an old fashioned now. And as the folklore has it, it's because it was the cocktail, and then as the 19th century progressed, people were coming up with all sorts of other mixed drinks, and someone decided the whole thing of mixed drinks should be called cocktails. So the story goes, people would go up to a bar and say, give me a cocktail, bartender, and the bartender says, what sort? No, give me the old-fashioned cocktail. So we call it an old-fashioned. If you order an old-fashioned now, almost every time you will get a whiskey old-fashioned. But the original definition, any spirit makes an old-fashioned. So for this World Cocktail Day, I'm going to do the cocktail, the old-fashioned cocktail, and I'm going to do it with rum. First, just for a bit of variety, because I've done variations on whiskey old-fashions before, but second, because I want to try out a special sugar syrup I've been making. It's a banana sugar syrup. I got the idea from liquor.com, and it's essentially pretty simple. You get a banana skin, weigh it so you know how much it is, put it in a bowl, cover it with its own weight in sugar, and then wait. And there is so much water in a banana skin, the sugar will draw that water out and it will liquefy. And I mean, you leave it for like 48 hours, and probably after 24 hours it's mostly done, but the recommendation I read was 48 hours, so I guess more banana flavor comes in that time, and it's quite liquid. And so that's what I did, and after 48 hours I strained it off, and because there was a bit of not completely dissolved sugar, I just used some hot water, about 2 ounces. It was like somewhere in the region of 50 to maybe 60 mils of water. And again, for the ratios, by sheer coincidence, the banana skin that I put down weighed almost exactly 100 grams. And so then I added 100 grams sugar, and then I used a bit of hot water to dissolve the sugar, and I ended up with the banana sugar syrup. I actually made two. This one's made with white sugar. This one is made with brown sugar. This was made with a coconut sugar, an unrefined sugar. So I'm actually, before I even put it in a cocktail, I'm going to try side by side how different they taste, because white sugar should be more neutral. So I'm just going to have a little taste of the white sugar banana syrup. Certainly got a banana taste going on in there. Now with my coconut sugar banana syrup, let's have a taste of that. Okay, very different sugar. I think the sugar actually dominates this one. Tastes a bit like golden syrup to me. But I am now going to make two rum old fashions, and in each one I'm going to put a different sugar syrup, compare them and see which one I think is better. We obviously need some rum. Do whatever rum you like in here. I recommend one that's fairly full-bodied in taste, because in my mind, you want this drink to have character, but use a rum you like. I'm using this one that I got not long ago. This is actually an Indonesian rum known as Batavia Arak, not to be confused with the Mediterranean or possibly Eastern European Arak, A-R-A-K. This is A-R-R-A-C-K. It's basically just rum made in Indonesia. When it was a Dutch province, they called it Batavia. So this rum was distilled in Indonesia and then aged in Amsterdam in oak barrels. And it's quite nice, 48% alcohol, so it's got a little bit of punch in it. And we're going to start with 2 ounces of rum, in my case, Batavia Arak. Just for fun, we're going to kick this up a little notch with an overproof rum as well. There's a lot to choose from in the world. I happen to have this one, another one I got quite recently. This is a white rum agricole, 55% alcohol, 110 proof, but I'm just going to put half an ounce, 15 mils of the overproof rum. Now for our sugar syrup, some people like to make it with raw sugar. They put the sugar in the bottom and put a little bit of water in and mix it up, and they actually like the fact that the sugar doesn't completely dissolve and you get a little gritty and it actually changes over the life of the drink. I prefer using sugar syrup myself, so I'm going to use half an ounce, 15 mils of sugar syrup. The final touch, some Angostura bitters. I'm going to do 2 dashes of bitters into our mixing glass. This is a pretty simple drink. You could actually build it in the glass. I'm actually doing it in a mixing glass and I'm going to stir it down with some ice. The help of Gaz Regan's disembodied finger. Just going to stir that for about 15 seconds. I'm going to use my Hawthorn strainer to strain that into a rocks glass with a big old rock of ice, also known appropriately enough as an old fashioned glass. And there we have the first of my 2 Rum Old Fashions. And here we are, double fisting the Rum Old Fashions. Unsurprisingly, they look very different. The dark sugar syrup has made the Rum Old Fashioned dark and cloudy, and the light one is a very nice light amber. But it's not just about appearances. I did put a little garnish in, the old orange twist, just a little bit of orange peel, expressed the oils over the top, wiped it around the glass, dropped it in, nothing too outlandish, but I do like doing that. I think the taste of this one is going to be milder, so I'll try it first. Oh, well, that is really good. It doesn't really taste, there might be a little bit of banana coming through. You may be surprised to learn it mostly tastes like rum, but with the dark sugar syrup. Oof, yep, that's actually, I mean, the sugar syrup's not the dominant factor in it, but a dark sugar syrup, which is actually something I tend to like in old fashions, a dark sugar syrup, just gives a bit more depth. It's interesting, the banana sugar syrup doesn't really make the drink taste like banana. I might try it in some other drinks, but it's a pretty neat trick. You don't do anything but just cover the banana peel in sugar and it completely liquefies. And like I said, you use a little bit of water to get sugar that hasn't completely dissolved, but it's a nice little twist on a sugar syrup. Yeah, it definitely has a different character to just a straight sugar syrup, a simple syrup. And I think my thoughts that it would go well with rum were in fact correct. So now I've got, poor me, I now have to go off and finish 2 Rum Old Fashioned. But yes, have a jolly old world cocktail day with your cocktail of choice, whether it's the cocktail, the Old Fashioned, or something else. But yeah, that banana sugar syrup is an experiment I recommend. In fact, I think particularly the dark one would probably be good on a dessert. I'm just thinking of like a pancake or an apple pie would probably go really well. I might actually try that on the weekend. I might also try a couple more Old Fashions. Who knows? No one can stop me. I'm double fisting Old Fashions. I should go before I say something even less appropriate than that. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you an idea, maybe an inspiration to try and make your own banana sugar syrup, because it's just nice to have these little tweaks that make cocktails just a little bit different. I might try it with a more subtle cocktail because then the banana might come through more, but that's an experiment for another day. For today, I'm going to finish these off. Hope you look after yourself. Look after people around you as well. Until I see you again, cheers.